Still says stream validation.
Hey everybody, Alex with Bay Cities Construction here. Welcome to our channel. If you are considering doing a remodel, you want to learn more about remodeling, whether it's a kitchen, a bathroom, a home addition, you're trying to get information to educate yourself so you can make good decisions, you've reached the right channel. My name is Alex Rodriguez, the professor of all things construction. I am a real college professor, but my day job is running Bay Cities Construction. And I want to share with you one of our projects, a beautiful project here in Los Angeles. It is a kitchen remodel and also a good sized interior remodel as part of the kitchen. So let's, I'll put together a little PowerPoint presentation for you. Let's get into it. I want to show you what we did, show you what we accomplished, show you what we were going for, the type of look we were going for with the collaboration of our client and our interior designer, Paige Voss. So let's look at the, some of the images we got. So for those of you that don't know, this is some shaker cabinets. This is a complete remodel. We took down a wall and refinished the ceiling and pretty much made this an open kitchen concept. The countertops here are quartz. They're low maintenance countertops. It's a man-made material. It's adorned by this really cool farmhouse sink. And then to the left, you see the shiny, nice and clean, beveled backsplash tile. So we'll put together a list of all of the materials that we used, and we'll go ahead and post it in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe, because we will be putting up a weekly show to help educate you and also to update you on the projects that we have pending. So here's a kind of a frontal look. This is a very traditional farmhouse sink, and it weighs about 100 pounds. Can any of you guess who makes this sink? There's probably about 7 or 8 different suppliers of this sink that make a farmhouse sink. This happens to be cast iron wrapped in porcelain. So kind of a really cool sink. Anybody out there? I'd be curious to see you post your comments below on what you guys what you think the sink is. let me give you a little hint though. There on the left side of my slide, there's the names of some of the materials that we use. So this is a kind of a straight shot of the window and the sink. Take a look at the features or really the craftsmanship of this kitchen. You see where the cabinet meets up with the backsplash and the drywall. See how nice and tight that whole connection is, and the 2-stage crown molding on the top. See how there's no gaps, or there's also an equal amount of distance here and here. These are all little details that make a very big difference. The way that we finish this tile also with this metal edging, you know, you gotta understand that this tile has a rough finished edge to it, right? So we have to put something in there so that the finish looks, the trim looks well finished. In this case, there's kind of a lot happening at the sink faucet level. This is an Insta-Hot unit that's also connected to a water filter. And then you've got your little wand there, and then your hot and cold. I think we got a question about the finish of the faucet, right? We got Brian in here. He's reading your questions. If you guys post your questions, go ahead and do it in the description below.
Somebody asked, who makes that sink?
Well, I'll tell you what. If you guys can guess who makes that sink, I've got a $20 gift card for you. Am I on here? Do a picture in picture? Okay, sorry. Brian's trying to make sure, Brian. So yeah, we got a $20 gift card here for the Home Depot for any of you that can guess who makes that sink.
Looks like somebody else is asking, the faucet looks cool. Is it chrome?
Oh yeah, that's a cool question. So that isn't chrome. It is a polished nickel. So it has the shininess of chrome, but it has a little bit of a different hint of tone to it. It's pretty cool. Here's a wide shot, and take a look at the, I want to bring your attention over to the island. You notice the veining here? This is a man-made stone, okay? So this is mimicking the Calcutta white. And you notice on the edge here that the vein carries over to the edge profile. And basically what we do is we cut the stone and the pattern, we wrap it around to the face of it. That's what you're looking at right now. And the way they do that is they cut this at a 45, and that'll allow, you know, the space to be removed so you can wrap that stone. And it gives it a very, very custom look. We can also control the thickness of the profile of the stone. See, this stone is only 3/4 of an inch thick, right? So we're making it look twice as thick as that. I think in this picture, I think we made it look 2 inches. So it looks like it's a real big, expensive slab. And it's one of those things that we can do during production that can enhance the look of a countertop. So this looks a lot more expensive than it actually is. It's a neat little way to do that. Now take a look at the lighting here. These are what are called Edison bulbs, and we did different dimensions. Paige picked out different size lamps. 2 larger ones for the island and a little bit smaller one. If you go back to this picture here of the sink, you see it's the same bulb but a different dimension. That's pretty cool. It's lined up with the size of the space, right? So it's kind of something to look at. And if you notice the ceiling, the way that the ceiling is, it's an open concept, right? Between the spaces. There used to be a wall here, and I'm going to show you some pictures of what this was like before. But the idea is that once you lay out the lighting, it should illuminate the space as a whole. Let's look at some kind of storage options, and also a little bit of information how we were able to soften up all of the white. So let's look at the bottom of the storage. This is a dead cabinet. The hardware piece is a Le Mans hardware. I think this is a European hardware, and basically it allows you to access things that are in the back side of that cabinet. Typically in the older cabinets, this would be dead space, stuff you wouldn't be able to get to very often. But with this hardware, you can get to it every day. See, these are spices, so the customer is going to be able to access that all the time. Up here, we have open shelves, and it's a cool way to break up the white. And they happen to get some real nice dishes in there.
We have a question.
Okay.
What is the door panel style?
Oh, great. That's a great question. So this is a shaker style door panel, and it's inset. So you notice that the panel sits flush with the frame. It is definitely an updated, upgraded custom feature. You can only get this in custom cabinets. Now you can get prefabricated shaker style doors, which is basically a flat panel and then a smooth frame around the panel. But the molding and the way that these doors sit in relation to each other, that's definitely a custom look. And the customer requested that we put glass on here so they can see their stemware. It also helps break up a little bit of the white. There's a little bit extra clearance here in the backsplash space, and that allows for larger appliances that are going to be available all the time, like this espresso maker. It's kind of a cool little feature. When you have a backsplash like this where it's a uniform color, you can really make use of the open shelves and of little architectural features like this, because it's a cool back. The white is a nice backdrop against some of these colorful dishes and cups. Here's the back side of the island. Pretty neat setup, very functional setup. This right here is a microwave, and then you've got obviously a small fridge with a little wine chiller, and it's a pretty cool setup. Can you guys guess what this flooring is? Yeah, here's your options. It could be a hardwood floor, it could be a engineered floor, it could be a laminate, or it could be tile. Which of those four do you think it is? I've got a $20 gift card for the Home Depot, or I'll buy you, if you can guess this, I'll buy you a lunch at the Olive Garden. Okay, see which ones you guys. I'd like to see what your comments are below. Post your comments below, and share it with your friends. If you come across this and you think it's really cool content, you know somebody that's considering a kitchen remodel and wants to learn more, share our channel with them. Here's another wide shot. So this stove is a JennAir unit, really nice unit. Has a double oven, has a grill on top, and a big time hood. That hood is definitely restaurant quality. It will extract all of the fumes out of the kitchen. Very nice unit. We don't sell these. You know, the customer bought them directly from Ferguson. In this case, we'll give you a little bit of love, Ferguson, if we haven't already. But Ferguson's always takes good care of my customers, and whenever somebody needs an appliance and they don't want to go to Best Buy or some other big chain, Ferguson is a good option for some of the higher end units. So keep them in mind. Now this shot here, I think, gives you a clear indication of really how well this lays out and how functionally appropriate this is for the space. So you've got some dishes for your common items that you'll be using, you'll be serving on all the time. You've got all of your kind of your go-to pans here, and the customer requested that we install this pot filler. This is really good if you're making pasta and stuff and you don't want to chug around a heavy pot. Also, if you're making tamales, this will help you fill up that big pot without having to hump it around the kitchen and drop stuff. It's a pretty neat little feature. To the right here, you got a magnet for your knives. I mean, pretty much everything that you need to cook here is within reach, and it's easy to keep clean. The backsplash goes all the way to the bottom of the hood. It's really set up well.
Alex, we have another question.
What do you got?
I have a small kitchen. Do you only work on large projects like this one?
No, absolutely not. We're here in Torrance. We deal with a lot of projects that are in Redondo Beach and Hermosa Beach, and all of those little small galley kitchens. I mean, that's just what it is. Sometimes people can knock down walls and make them bigger, like they did in this case. But oftentimes, if you have a tall and skinny, we have to deal with the space that you have. You know, so we've gotten pretty good at making good use of small spaces. And then as far as like the project size, for us, it's a lot more important that we work well together, that we connect as individuals, personality-wise. That's a lot more important to me than the size of, the dollar figure of the project. We really want to work with nice people, so that means a lot more. I'd rather work with somebody who has a good attitude and has a positive attitude, and it be a smaller job than something that's a $300,000 job, but the person's just kind of nasty to deal with. So absolutely not. We'd love to talk to you about your project. So let's move on to the other section here, the dishwasher. This is kind of something that you should consider when you're buying all of your appliances, and we don't sell appliances, but when you're buying all of your appliances, look to make sure that you're going to be happy with the ratings of each appliance. So try and keep all of the appliances the same brand, and it makes it easy for following up on the warranty, and also I think there's a certain cohesiveness to the look of the appliances when they're all the same brand. I think most people would agree with that they would like if you get Wolf, you'd want all the appliances to be Wolf or Bosch or whatever the case may be. But so think about that when you are shopping for appliances, and if you need help with that, we can refer you to our pro over at Ferguson's. Her name is Crystal. She's really knowledgeable, and she's definitely a pro in helping our clients select the perfect appliances. As we look at this kitchen as a whole, there's some things that really make it not only beautiful but functional. Notice at how much space there is between the island and this wall here, and also the back side of the island and the back countertop. our client, we really try and build these kitchens to the specs of our clients and the best use of our clients. So one of the ways that, that we do that is by asking you a lot of questions during the design phase. In this case, our client, every Sunday their family comes over, they have a big family, and they take the time to enjoy a meal together. So having a kitchen that had good flow and could accommodate a lot of people was really something that they found that they needed. Not only important, but it was also a requirement. Here's the fridge. Notice just want to point a couple things out regarding the fridge and the layout of the fridge. That this look here, this fridge panel, you see how it comes up real nice and close to like the doors? You only get that tight look by having custom cabinets. The prefab cabinets, they don't quite, you know, some cabinets make larger and smaller. They make different dimension refrigerator panels. So when you're doing this, when you're considering a remodel and you are kind of on the fence on whether you want to do a custom cabinets or if you want to do prefabricated cabinets, this may be something you want to consider in addition to the cost. The prefabricated cabinets are definitely cheaper. We have a blog article about that, about the difference in costs and all that. But you really kind of have to ask yourself, how much is it going to bug you to give up the functionality of and the look of a custom cabinet versus a prefabricated cabinet. So those are some things that you should consider when you are remodeling your kitchen. So we'd like to move on. I'd like to move on to the next slide here. This slide kind of gives you a really nice comparison of how the space is around the island. You see there's tons of spaces, and we really wanted to make sure that they had enough. Like, let's say somebody took out a turkey and was walking over to the dinner table, but somebody was coming out to get some wine or something else that was in the island fridge. We wanted to make sure that there's enough room on the pathway within the kitchen that you could have good flow. And this all comes down to planning and working with the designer to make sure that you're getting everything out of the kitchen that you want. I mean, it's a big investment. It's a lot of money. So, you know, it's something that should be considered. So you should spend quite a bit of time in consideration.
Alex, we have another question.
Okay, cool. What do we got?
Do you have to move out on a project this large?
So I would say you don't have to. The homeowners in this case didn't move out. Now, the areas affected were the kitchen, the living room, and the dining room. There were, I think, a couple of days where they slept at a friend's house when we were putting in the floors so that they wouldn't mess with the floors going down. But for the most part, I think this project took almost 4 months and they lived through most of it. If you have small kids, you know, it's a little bit tougher because it's noisy and it's dusty, and, you know, I won't sugarcoat that. It's kind of a rough deal to live through it. But if you want to save money and not pay for the double expense of living in two places, I don't think you have to move out. I think there'll probably be about 4 weeks that it's uncomfortable, you know, to have to deal with all the construction going on. So that's a really good question. These are some progression pictures. As you can see, the sink wasn't always there. The sink was actually where the stove is. And this is the wall. This is a shot from me from the same position I was earlier where I took a picture of the dining room, of the island. I'm in the same position. So you could see where the old wall was. You could see the old popcorn on the ceiling. You could see the beams. See those beams? We got rid of all of these beams. We got rid of this wall. This is basically where the island is now.
Alex, we have another question.
You go for it. What do you got?
Do you need building permits for a project like this?
Absolutely. You absolutely needed building permits. This project also needed architectural and engineering. My team put together a solution for the removal of that wall. So you have to have architectural engineering. Let me tell you what the difference is between architectural and engineering. Architectural is the aesthetics, like the floor plans, the layouts, stuff like that. And the engineering is the structural component. So when we remove that wall, our engineer designed a plan that would allow us to put a beam in, a flush mounted beam that would be invisible from the kitchen view, but that is would hold the weight of the roof, because the wall that we removed was definitely structural. So in this case, you needed architectural engineering in addition to, as part of getting the building permits approved. This is what the kitchen looked like before. You see the sink is where the stove is now. So we reconfigured it to make the best use of the space. And we wanted the length of this wall to be the cooking area. So it worked out, definitely worked out pretty good. Well, I don't know, I think it worked out pretty good. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this kitchen? Is it too white? Is it too open? Do you like the lights? I'd like to see what your comments are. And if you don't like it, what would you change? I'd be curious to see what some of you think. The white shaker cabinets right now, actually over the last 2 years have been a trend. And I think the reason for that is because the white shaker cabinets are like an eternal look. This kitchen won't look dated in 10 years from now. It's a pretty nice, pretty classic look. Nice lines, easy to keep clean, easy to maintain. Even though there's a lot of white, the countertops won't get stained because they're non-porous. They're a man-made quartz material. Basically, it behaves like glass. So it's part of that. Part of our vision for building is that we want this to last many, many years. Basically, when you remodel this kitchen, or when you remodel a space that we remodeled for you, it isn't because it's falling apart. It isn't because it looks dated. It's because you changed the taste and you want to do something else. But it isn't because you outwore the space. That's our philosophy for building. Here's another quick shot here. Brian, we got any other questions on there?
Yeah, another question. How long did this project take to complete?
This project took a little bit over 4 months. It was quite a bit. It was a lot of reconfiguring. We had to go back to the city and get some, the building inspector wanted some clarification on some of the stuff on the plan, so we had to go back. And for those of you that are in Torrance, you should know that you have to have an AQMD report. Basically, it's a report from an environmental company saying that there's no asbestos. You have to have that ready to roll before you start the project. LA City isn't requiring it yet, but I know Santa Monica and Torrance, it's an absolute mandate. They won't do the first inspection without proof that an AQMD report has been done, which it'll verify that you don't have asbestos or lead. Good question, though. Any other questions?
Another question, where is this project? I guess somebody missed it from the beginning.
So yeah, this project is in Gardena. It's actually in the city of LA. Has a Gardena address, but it's not far from 190th and like Crenshaw. So it's actually our first project in that area. Pretty cool. I love the family. The family was tip top. The Figueroa family, loved working with them. Anything else? Any other questions coming in?
Another question, how can I make my kitchen look larger?
Well, that's the $1 million question, you know. I mean, on my first answer to that is, you know, if you can make it bigger, if your kitchen's small and you can make it bigger and it's within your budget, you really should consider it. So what do I mean by that? If there's a wall that can be removed, if there's a wall that can be pushed back, if there's a hall closet that could be absorbed by the space, those are all, you know, kind of low-hanging fruit ways to make the kitchen bigger. If you don't have space to expand the kitchen, then what we would try and do is put a bunch of smart hardware, meaning storage hardware, like the Le Mans corner. There's a bunch of different hardware features that will allow you to pull out drawers all the way out so you can access stuff in the back, pantry systems with specialized storage, drawers with specialized storage. All of those features will help the kitchen feel bigger and also be able to function better. If you want to make it look better aesthetically, you should also have it be colored white. White cabinets with a light colored backdrop really go a long way to making the space look bigger, for sure. Anything else? Any other questions coming in?
Somebody asked, I live in Redondo Beach and my kitchen is tiny. What are some ideas to make better use of my small kitchen space?
So if you're in Redondo Beach, if you're in one of the galley kitchens, you really want to try and scooch into your living room and dining room. Many times those kitchens are kind of like those houses are like long rectangles. So if you can remove a wall, if you can use an island, remove a pony wall or remove a partition wall, that really is kind of like the best way to do it. You really want to get more 42, or you really want to get more than 36 inches. A lot of those galley kitchens are kind of crunched up together. You want to try and get 42 to maybe even 50 inches between each side of the cabinet, and use pantries there for sure with full pullouts. You got to try and figure out a way to use every little nook and cranny in the kitchen. Unfortunately, that means you're probably going to have to use custom cabinets. But if you can't knock down the wall, custom cabinets and the hardware that it allows are the best way to go. Anything else? Any other questions?
Another question just came in. Will remodeling my kitchen affect my property taxes?
Oh man, I get that question often. So if you add square footage to the property, that is the main trigger of getting reassessed, okay? You should talk to your tax provider. But in all honesty, like, who cares? If you need to make the space bigger, you need to add to it, and it triggers a property tax hike. I mean, it's better if you can afford the remodel. I wouldn't really consider that as a reason to not do the remodel. There's oftentimes people are converting a 2-bedroom house into a 3-bedroom and adding a bathroom, and yeah, you're gonna get reassessed, and it sucks in that respect. But the fact is that if you can get the space and you don't have to move out, and you like your neighborhood, your kids' school, relatively speaking, it's a small price to pay. It shouldn't be a reason that somebody doesn't do a remodel. So I hope that you have found this to be informative. Please share it with your friends. I've got a bunch of little giveaways here. If you guys can guess the sink, we have I'll buy you lunch, or I'll give you a $20 gift card to the amazing and often visited by contractors Home Depot location. My name's Alex with Bay Cities Construction. I love talking about residential remodeling. I'd love to see your questions. If you're watching this broadcast after the fact, please post your questions below. We read and monitor all of our videos, and we'd love to answer any questions you may have. We will be here every week posting a new video about residential remodeling, and look forward to hearing from you. Look forward to seeing you online, and see you soon. Remember, you don't need a contractor. You need a team of pros.